Hello, everybody. Good, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you're listening in from. So we're going to start right now, and I'm just going to give a few ground rules of what's going to happen before we start. First of all, if you can hear me, I need to confirm that you can hear. If you can hear and see me, okay, please go ahead and type in the chat. Yes, put yes in the chat so that I can know that you can hear me and you can also see me. 1 second. You can hear me, you can see me, just say yes in the chat. Okay, so lots of yeses. So I believe that you can hear and see me, and we're going to start in a bit. So I'm going to give a few ground rules. We're doing this on Zoom. We're live streaming to YouTube, so you might be on Zoom, you might be on YouTube, whichever, it's fine. And then secondly, I'm going to give a presentation it's going to be a quick one. And during that time, I'm going to disable the chat on Zoom. And I'm going to ask that you just concentrate on what I'm saying so that, you have an understanding of the objectives of why you're here. You're asking the right questions and you're not asking questions that I've already answered during the presentation. Is that fine? I want to assume it's yes. So I'm going to disable the chat here on Zoom. The comments here on Zoom. When I'm done, I'm going to open it up again because it would distract me when I'm making the presentation. So let's start right away because I know that a lot of you have very important things to do rather than just spending your time here. Okay, just give me one minute. And I'm going to share my screen. 1 second now. Okay, here we are. So I just wanted to say thank you very much for being here. Like that, 1,000,001 things you could have been doing with your time, but you're here. I don't take it for granted. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. So today we're talking about everything about the temporary foreign worker program and how you can use it to become a Canada permanent resident, okay? And we're going to learn 5 things today, sort of like 5 revelations. So the first thing is that we're going to know, I'm going to just briefly talk about the different routes to come to Canada. For those who are outside of Canada, what is the temporary foreign worker program and how can you start, the benefits of this program and what you need. We'll talk about the challenges of the temporary foreign worker program and how you can start today to take advantage of it. So these are just the 5 things that we're going to talk about. I'm going to do like a high-level presentation to just give you an idea. I don't want to take too much time wasting your time, but I'm just going to give you an idea so you get a good idea of what this temporary foreign worker program is and how it's going to benefit you, okay? Now, who am I? Let me do a brief intro of myself. If I'm someone that you don't know, who am I? Why should you listen to me? Why am I even talking about temporary foreign worker program? What is my authority? So my name is Sheyo Basi. I live, I'm a Nigerian by birth. I live in Ontario, Canada now. I've lived here for almost 5 years. And I am passionate about teaching people the ways and the avenues to legally relocate to Canada. Like I understand a lot of the issues that people are having because I have been in those shoes before. So I'm now passionate about, just helping people come to Canada legally. Right, so I'm going to tell a little story about myself. Sometime in 2017, I wanted to leave the country. I needed to come to Canada. So I chose Canada and I had an express entry profile. I was looking for a job, yeah, up and down. I can't even begin to explain how many jobs I applied to. So I started searching on the internet for someone that could help me with this job issue, yeah? And I met this very amazing young man, handsome, well articulate, very convincing. He had an advert on, was LinkedIn. It was on LinkedIn I saw him. And LinkedIn, you know, is a prestigious website. So I was like, this must be genuine. It was on LinkedIn, and I'm going to show you the ad in a bit. He promised me a job in Canada. He promised me accommodation, flight tickets, and that I would pay back. You know, when I start working in Canada, that's when I'll start paying back. So this is how the ad looks like. I know at that time in 2017, 2018, even these days, I see a lot of this kind of ad. So this was the ad that I saw, multiple job offers for Canada, 4 years temporary work permits. The accommodation will be provided, ticket and visa will be provided for free. Medical will be provided for myself and my family, transportation provided, working hours. I was going to earn $7,000 per month. It was a 4-year contract and it was renewable, family status, group benefit, fringe. What on earth? When I saw this, I was like, this is what I'm looking for. This is exactly what I'm looking for. So I was sold. I mean, this is it. So I contacted him and we started talking about terms and conditions, what I was going to pay and all that. And so I paid him like the first set of monies that he asked for. But then I started, you know, sometimes it's like these people use some kind of jazz on you. I wasn't thinking anymore because this was exactly what I was looking for. And to tell you a secret, I didn't even tell my husband. I was like, I'm going to surprise him when we finally get the visa. So I didn't tell him that I was talking to someone and someone was convincing me. I know my husband is objective. He would have spotted it on the spot, but I didn't tell him. But I sent this guy some money. But the more I spoke with him, the more questions I had. Like I was asking him lots of questions. I'm very inquisitive. I'm that kind of person. Yeah. So I was asking him lots of questions and he wasn't comfortable with it. He was more focused on me sending him more money. But the results were not coming. I was like, guy, give me some results first. Let me see something. Then I can send you more money. You understand? And then after making 2 payments, I was done. It was obvious that it was a Canada job scam. I had been scammed. And then I went on LinkedIn and then I talked to some people. I put his profile on LinkedIn. I told people to call him. So people started calling him and he started messaging me to say, why was I, talking about him online and all that. I was scammed. And I know that a lot of well-meaning people like me, I mean, I'm educated, I'm articulate. I didn't know how I got sucked into that. It was because of that ad that I saw. It was just everything that I needed. It was simple, and this guy was articulate and convincing, and I got sucked in. Okay. Now, there's lots of Canada job scams. There was one that happened recently in Ekiti State. Funny enough, I had a friend who reached out to me before this happened. I was like, there's this company in Ekiti State. Do you know them? They're offering like 78,000 naira for a single person and some amount for a family. And I told him immediately, it's a scam. Don't give them any money. And he didn't give them money. But I know that there were a couple of other people who reached out to me. I said, don't give them money. But they did give them money. And the police had nabbed them. It is scam. Yeah. So there's all sorts of scams. I fell into it. I know a lot of my friends are falling into it. I know a lot of people who reach out to me every day with horror stories, all sorts of amounts, 950,000, 1.5 million. I'm like, you get all 1.5 million. How? But it does happen. I did give money, so I know how it can be with these scams, yeah? So why am I doing this presentation? It's because there's so much ambiguity and vagueness surrounding the temporary foreign worker program, surrounding how to actually get genuine jobs in Canada. And it breaks my heart, like to see so many people being scammed of their hard-earned funds. I'm telling you, so many people selling their land, selling their things, just because they really want to come to Canada to work, and somebody has promised them that they can help them. There are so many scams and fake jobs. People are not sure how to differentiate fake jobs from real jobs. And these jobs come with juicy promises. They say they are sponsored jobs in quotes. I hear that phrase a lot these days. There's nothing like sponsored jobs. They offer all expenses paid. If you were an employer, would you be doing that with your family? I doubt that there's any employer in Canada that would do that. And people have little understanding of this route, little understanding of how to get a genuine job in Canada. And by God's grace, I've been able to help a lot of people from being scammed. From that time that I posted that guy profile on LinkedIn, his profile was taken down. He took it down himself. He might have opened it somewhere else again, you understand? But I used to post his pictures regularly online at that time. A lot of people have reached out to me, showed me a letter. I'm like, I can't say categorically, but I think this is fake. You understand? I believe that some of them have not gone ahead. Some people don't listen. No matter what you tell them, they prefer to get scammed, which is sad, but you understand, it's the desperation that they actually want for a better life for themselves and their families. And I don't really blame people, but you have to actually update yourself. So the question is, can you come to Canada to work? A lot of people don't want to come to Canada to study. Who wants to continue learning? Who don't want to come to Canada to study, spend money? They actually want to come to Canada to work. So can you come to Canada to work? Absolutely. Absolutely, you can. Now, Canada has immigration programs for foreigners that are outside of Canada. Example, they have the Express Entry, PMP, AIPP. There are a lot, yeah? But there are requirements for each of them. Now, if you are in Canada, there are a lot more immigration routes for you. It's so much easier if you're already in Canada on the temporary foreign work program, or you're already in Canada. If you're already in Canada on a temporary foreign worker program, or you're already in Canada as a student, there are more routes. But if you're a foreigner and outside of Canada, these are basically the routes that are available. So there's Study in Canada, there's the International Experience Canada, there's the Canada Express Entry, the Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program, there's the Provincial Nominee Program, and of course, there's the Temporary Foreign Worker Program. And the Home Support Worker Pilot Program that have been paused for a while, but it's going to be open. Coincidentally, it is also categorized under the Temporary Foreign Worker Program. Yeah, that program is categorized under the Temporary Foreign Worker Program as well. Okay, and that is what we're going to be talking about. So, what is the Temporary Foreign Worker Program? The Temporary Foreign Worker Program is a program of the Government of Canada that allows employers in Canada to hire nationals, foreign nationals, as employees on a temporary basis and sometimes on a seasonal basis. Now, the two words that I need you to take note of is it's on a temporary basis and sometimes it is on a seasonal basis. And basically, they do this to fill job shortages in Canada, yeah? Sometimes you hear of job shortages, they're not able to find employees in Canada. That is why the government made this program, so that they can get foreign nationals to come to Canada and fill up these roles. Now, this is different from getting a permanent job in Canada. So you can actually get a permanent job in Canada, but that's actually not what we're talking about. We're talking about that temporary foreign worker program where these employers employ people on a seasonal or a temporary basis. So, I mean, who do they employ? There's so many ranges from things like cooks, construction workers, the greenhouse workers, truck drivers, and general farm workers as well. So these are like some of the occupations that they do employ for the temporary foreign worker program. Now, what is the process? Now, this is the process. Say there's job shortages, for example, I'll just give an example, truck drivers, for example. So there's shortages for truck drivers, and there's an employer that needs truck drivers. Now, the employer, the first thing that they do after they've noticed this job shortage is that they apply for an LMIA. An LMIA is a labor market impact assessment, yeah? It confirms that there is a need for a temporary foreign worker and that there are no Canadians or permanent residents that are available to do the job. An employer cannot employ, foreign employees under the TFWP without having that LMIA. Okay, now the thing about the LMIA is that it's the employer that is responsible for the cost of the LMIA. I think it's currently about $1,100. It is the employer. It is not the employee. It's not your responsibility to help the employer to get an LMIA, yeah? The employer cannot charge an applicant for the LMIA. They cannot charge you for a job offer. It is actually against the law, yeah? So if someone is telling you to bring money for a job offer and an LMIA in Canada, I can tell you that it is possibly a scam. I'm not saying totally that it's a scam. It's possibly a scam because I have seen some job offers or some job ads where they're talking about LMIA $1,100 and they're asking the employee or the prospect to pay. It's their responsibility to pay for LMIA, yeah? It is the employer. Okay, so that's one red flag. So I'm sure you're wondering what kind of jobs will there be that there are no Canadians or no permanent residents that are available to do the job, or they do not even want to do the job. They're actually jobs like that. Number one is that they are highly specialized professions. You know, there are some of these tech jobs that are like, I don't know, stack developers, or there are some tech jobs that are really techy. You know, these jobs that, or these skills that not very many people have in the world. And tech is one of those areas because, you know, tech is always evolving. There are always all these new things. People have to catch up, learn the skills and all that. At first, maybe there are a few people. Companies might be looking for this kind of tech people, and they've put up adverts, but they didn't get. Another area is health. You know, there's maybe brain surgeons, or, you know, and agriculture, yeah? Those are highly specialized professions that there might not be a lot of people in that area where the employer is that are readily available to do the job. Another one is jobs that have high labor shortages. So they are usually like low-skill jobs or seasonal jobs or physically demanding jobs. So those are the jobs like farm hands or jobs that are available only during the summer. Canadian citizens and permanent residents might likely want a more permanent role, you know, except, I don't know, someone who probably just wants to work extra in the summer. They might just want more permanent roles, and they might not be willing to do this kind of jobs that are just seasonal jobs. So those are the two kinds of jobs that, you know, Canadians or permanent residents may not be available to do or may not even want to do, okay? Yeah, so I'm going to give you like a list of the temporary foreign worker approvals by occupation that we had in the first quarter of 2022. So it gives you an idea of the kind of jobs and the kind of occupations that they take for this program. So you see, this is a newspaper article that came out 12 months ago. It says Canadian employers are ramping up their search for temporary foreign workers amid labor crunch. So there's labor crunch. And it is this labor crunch that is probably causing employers to look for temporary foreign workers. And if you look at this list, you can see general farm workers, which is the highest. General farm workers has like the highest number of employees or people that they are looking for this role, because, you know, Canada is basically like an agriculture country. So during maybe planting season or harvest season, they actually need a lot of hands. Then there's cooks, greenhouse workers, food service supervisors, fish plant workers, transport truck drivers, harvesting laborers, laborers in food and beverages. So these are those like high shortage jobs where they're looking for people, and, you know, there will be a labor crunch. So these are some of the kind of jobs. This was just for the first quarter of 2022. The list changes. It's not always like this. So it depends on the labor market impact assessments that they have and what the government has actually approved. So after the employer has gotten a labor market impact assessment and they've gotten a positive one, so the government has actually approved their labor market impact assessment. So you know what, you can go ahead and get go ahead and advertise your job and see if you can get a foreign worker. So what they're going to do is that they're going to advertise the job for a certain length of time. And that is one of the conditions of the LMIA. They must advertise the job and they must show that, you know what, I have advertised this job for this length of time. I fulfilled the conditions of the LMIA, and I did not get any Canadian or, you know, temporary foreign worker, Canadian or permanent resident to fill this role. Now, there are ways that some employers do this just to favor someone that they want to bring in from outside of Canada. We're not going to talk about that. That's digressing, but there are employers do all sorts when it comes to this advertising of the job, but this is what the government says they should do. Now, after that, they now advertise the job, and you get to see the job ad, yeah? And then you apply for the job, you have to go through an interview process. The employer hires you, then they send you a valid job offer. I don't have the time to talk about a valid job offer, but that job offer must be valid. It must have all the requirements of a valid job offer for you to be able to use it to apply for work permits. And then the employer provides you with a copy of a positive LMIA confirmation letter. Those are the two things that you need. What you're going to be applying for is a work permit. Those are the two things you need. You need that valid job offer from an employer that's not in the black book of the Canadian government. Then you need a positive LMI confirmation letter. Those two documents you need. And when you have those two documents, you can actually go ahead and apply for a work permit. And the process ends there. You get your work permit and you come to Canada. That is it. It's a very short, simple process. And this is what the process is. Now, applying for a work permit. So when you want to apply for a work permit, you are applying probably most likely for an employer-specific work permit. And the reason is because that particular employer that employed you is the employer that you're coming to Canada to work for. So that's why it's an employer-specific work permit. That employer will be named in your work permit, okay? So you're not coming to work, you're not getting employment from ABC and coming to work for XYZ, no. So that employer will be named in your work permit, and you're going to have to submit some supporting documents with your application. I cannot put all of the documents, not to waste time, but some of the basic ones is, of course, your travel document, which is your passport, 2 passport photos, meeting the photo requirements, a valid job offer, and that LMIA that I talked about, and the proof of your current immigration status. So whatever country you are in, if you are in another country or your country of citizenship, you have to show proof that you are legally in that country, yeah? And you submit all of that. You make an online application. And then some of the eligibility requirements they look at, which is a lot, but these are some of the important ones. You prove to the officer that you will leave Canada when your work permit expires, because this is a work permit. You're not applying for permanent residence, okay? So anytime you're applying for any temporary visa, you must show the officer that you will leave Canada when whatever visa you're applying for expires. You show them you have that valid job offer and LMIA, prove to them that you're going to obey the laws and that you have no criminal records. They might ask for a police clearance certificate. Prove that you're not a danger to Canada's security. Of course, they're going to do a background check. You have to be in good health, so you might have to do an exam, medical exam. And you do not plan to work for an employer that is listed with the status ineligible on a list of employers who fail to comply with the conditions. So there's just that list of employers. There's some employers who have not complied with the conditions of the temporary foreign worker program, and they have been blacklisted. You have to be sure that your employer is not on that list, okay? Those lists are readily available on the website, Canada IRCC website. Okay, so you can apply, you're going to apply for your work permit online. I think since COVID, most of the applications are online. There's no physical. You're going to pay the $235 application fee. That's the $150 plus $85 for biometrics, if you haven't done biometrics before. And the work permit can take up to 27 weeks. It is not a short process, it is a long process. Everything about Canada processing is a bit long, which is sad. Work permit also is long. So your work permit, will, when it's approved, will contain the name of the specific employer that you're coming to Canada to work with, how long you can work for them, the location of the work, if that is applicable. It will all be on your work permit. So there's no confusion when you get to immigration as to my job is in British Columbia and I'm coming to Ontario, nothing like that. So big question, where do you find these jobs? Because this is where a lot of people have the problem. They don't know where to find the jobs, or they go to certain places and they find fake jobs there, scam jobs there. Where do you find the jobs? Now, there are a bunch of employers and recruitment agencies that employ workers for employers in the temporary foreign worker program, okay? Some employers employ themselves, some of them use recruitment agencies. Some provinces have certain agencies, recruitment agencies that they also advertise that can actually employ people for their temporary foreign worker programs or for employers in that province. You need to do your due diligence. The thing is that they will not ask you to pay. Yeah, they will not ask you because it's illegal. If you go and report them, it will be a problem. Also, the IRCC, which is the Canadian immigration website, provides a list of employers that have positive LMIAs. So an employer can only employ when they have positive LMIAs. That is the only time they can employ a foreigner. They must have that positive LMIA. Now, there are many online job portals. A lot of people know these ones, Indeed.ca, and there's the Canada Job Bank. They advertise jobs, but sadly, sometimes there are maybe not so genuine jobs there. I have seen a couple that are not so genuine, but these are like supposed to be genuine websites in Canada that employs people, not just for temporary foreign worker program, other even permanent roles. There are people who do get permanent jobs from these websites as well. So how do you apply? Of course, if you meet the requirements of the job you apply, you must meet the requirements. If they are looking for a meat cutter, you cannot be applying when you don't have a meat cutter experience. Yeah. If you want to lie and say you have a meat cutter experience, well, I don't encourage lying, but then there has to be some relationship between your background and the job you're applying for. Make sure you have a good resume. That's your CV. Start working on your CV. Make sure your CV is professional and it's in the Canada style. There are some things that we put on the Nigerian CV, on the Ghana CV, on the Sierra Leone CV that it's not needed on the Canada CV. Yeah? So you need to be getting a Canada style CV and start applying for as many positions as you can on a consistent basis. Yeah. So even if you're applying for a job in your home country, you don't apply to 2 jobs and you start complaining that they are not taking me. Yeah. I remember when I finished university and I started applying for jobs. I was applying for jobs everywhere, like every day. It's a consistent thing. And also when I came to Canada and I was looking for a job, it was an everyday project. You were applying on a consistent basis. So don't apply to 2 jobs, 3 jobs, 4 jobs, and you start saying you don't get a job. Do you know how many people are chasing those few jobs? In your country, do you know you can apply for a job and go for an interview and you see 20 other people there? I remember last job I got in Nigeria. I went for the interview and so many people are like, what is this? It was so discouraging. But I still got the job. They were looking for one person, but there were like 20 of us there. So you need to be consistent on it. And then network with anyone you have, or anyone you know in Canada. Usually, sometimes people in Canada can have an inkling, they can have a connection that you don't have. So reach out to people that you know in Canada. If you don't know anyone in Canada, well, you don't know anyone. It is what it is. There's nothing you can do. But if you do know someone, you can reach out. If it's someone that doesn't want to help you, is too busy. Canadians are busy. They are working. You don't have time. That's understandable. You go ahead and do your own background check or the work that you need to do if you're really, really interested in getting that job in Canada. Now, please note, these jobs usually do not come with promises like free accommodation, free flights, pay back when you start working. You know that sponsored job thing that a lot of scam agents in Nigeria or in Africa like to call sponsored jobs. They're like sponsored jobs, yeah? If they want to sponsor jobs, that means somebody who has a recruitment agency wants to do that for you, but an employer in Canada will not likely do that. Yeah, sometimes these recruitment agencies in our countries do get you job, but I see a lot of people who get these jobs and come to Canada and it's a big surprise. They told them they were coming to do an administrative assistant. When they came here, it was actually a farm job or it was actually a meat copter job. Sometimes the surprise is there, but I tell them, well, you're already here. You might as well make good of it, yeah? And you thought you were coming to do an office job and it's not. But you're in Canada, and when you're in Canada, you can look at all other options, yeah? So be very careful. Look very well before you leap. That's what I always say, look well before you leap. Now, there's this image on the right here that says Canada Visa Lottery 2022/2023 online application form is open. Now, this is flying all over the internet, and the Canadian government has even come to say, you know what, they discredited it and said there's nothing like that. There's nothing like Canada Visa Lottery. Canada is not doing a visa lottery. So they say applicants must adhere to blah, 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 blah. All these things that you see, it's part of, I don't know, the handwork of people who are just know what they hope to gain by telling people that they can do a Canada visa. I don't know if they're taking money, but be very careful. There is no visa lottery. As at now, as at the time we're making this presentation or this video, there is no visa lottery in Canada. Don't go and pay someone thinking that they're going to get you a spot in this, okay? And there's also a website, there's also a link there. Don't be clicking on anything. If you click, just use your sense. You know now that there's no visa lottery in Canada. So that basically is the process of the temporary foreign worker program. It is a simple process on paper, but you know, sometimes when you're going through it, it takes a little bit more work. So can you do the process on your own? Absolutely. Like, you can take what I've given you now, you can run with it, and you can actually go and try and do the process on your own. But, you know, if you ask me, you can get mentorship, because a lot of times people make mistakes. Look at when I was almost scammed by that guy. I was scammed. That's why I'm saying almost, because he did take money from me. And I didn't tell anybody. I was doing it secretly. I didn't tell my husband. I didn't tell my friend that was in Canada. Know why I didn't tell them. Maybe there was a part of me that knew, okay, this was too good to be true, or I didn't want them to discourage me, or what, I don't know. But if I'd gotten mentorship, if I talked to someone, if I'd gotten, I would have known. Somebody might have told me that this is scam. So you can use the information you already have, or you can get mentorship, you can get guidance, okay? When you're asking how, okay, you can get guidance from me. And The way that I do my guidance, because I might not be able to do the one-on-one with everybody, is that I've created a masterclass. It's actually an express entry masterclass. So that masterclass is basically about express entry, but the temporary foreign worker program is part of the Canada Express Entry Masterclass. I did not separate them. They're actually together. So if you want the temporary foreign worker program, you will get the Express Entry Masterclass. I don't see any reason why you won't want to get the Express Entry Masterclass. Yeah, I see that I would say temporary foreign worker program is like a plan B if you want to come to Canada. Don't forget, there are temporary jobs, there are seasonal jobs. But of course, when you're already in Canada, it's a good way for you to also use it to try and get a more permanent stay. But that is what it is. It's the temporary Canada, the Express Entry Masterclass, forgive me. And then what do you get? Inside the Express Entry Masterclass, we do have the temporary foreign worker program. You're going to learn how to find jobs in Canada under the temporary foreign worker program. I do know people who also do this alone. It's like 40,000 Naira value if I was only going to even do how to find jobs in Canada. But you get that in the temporary foreign worker program. You get details of genuine recruiters that recruit for these Canada jobs. So there are genuine recruiters. It is their job to recruit people for the temporary foreign worker program. Employers come to them to get workers. So you're going to get that in the temporary foreign worker program inside the masterclass. And then the Canada resume templates. I talked about making sure that your resume, your CV, is in the Canada style. So you also get tips on how to go about searching, applying, and job posting, so that you stop applying to so many jobs with no results. Like some people are applying and applying and applying, nobody's responding back to them. One, because of the resume templates they are using. Number two, they don't even meet the requirements of the job, but they are just applying and saying, I've applied to 1 million jobs. It's not like that. Applying to job is strategic. Part of the things we teach in the temporary foreign worker program. And we also post genuine job postings, yeah, when they're available. Now, when we see that job postings are available, or someone in our network has said, you know what, this job is available, people post these jobs all the time. And you will see it because you're not in Canada. So they post it in forums here, they post it in WhatsApp groups. If I see them, I will post it, and I've been doing that, yeah. The value of that alone is 25,000. So the value of everything that I've put so far is like 140,000, I think. If you look at this, 40,000, 50,000, 25, 25. So basically, if you come into the temporary foreign worker program, you're borrowing someone's brain, my brain actually, and my expertise to help you achieve your dream of getting a genuine job in Canada. I know how it is. I have been there. You can imagine the desperation that made me to go and look for on the internet, see that ad, and then begin to pay someone money. He didn't give me anything. Till today, that guy didn't give me anything. So you're getting that, and it is priceless in money value. I can't even price it. Getting expertise. Some people have spent 950,000, 1.5 million. I've even had someone who told me 2.5 million. Get anything. They even took their passport. People are actually heartless, you know, they are heartless. Anyway, so this will save you time and money. You don't just save money, you save time. Because I'm telling you, the more time that passes and you haven't gotten your dream of coming to Canada, the more discouraged you become, the more sad you become, the more older you become, yeah? So you want to save time and money, and that is what this program is going to help you save. So I know you're asking now, this must cost a lot of money, because I've told you like 140,000 value. And a lot more people, like a lot of us, me inclusive, have gotten scammed for more than 140,000. That's none of these scammers is going to ask us for 140,000. I hope you know. They start from like 500,000, 350,000. So they ask you to bring 100,000, and then there's the next time it's 300,000. Then it's 100, and before you know it, they are spending 600,000 and you're wondering, Pali, give me the job now. You understand? So the value of this for the temporary foreign worker under the Express Entry Masterclass is 140,000. It's a lot less than a lot of us are willing to pay to scams. And I don't know why a lot of people are more comfortable paying money to these fake agents with sweet voice. Anyway, but for today, you're not going to pay 140,000. I'm giving a discounted price, yeah? Because it's really not about the money. It's about the guidance, it's about the mentorship, it's about the helping people to be able to have that spark in their eyes once more, be able to get their dreams, be able to come to Canada if Canada is actually the dream that you want. So instead of that 140,000, the temporary foreign worker program in the Express Entry Masterclass is 60,000. Okay, but wait, I know that some people have already tuned off. 60,000 seems like, oh God, such a lot of money, and it's Christmas time. And I get it, but you're also getting some insane bonuses for free. You're getting the Express Entry Masterclass. I don't know why you wouldn't want to get the Express Entry Masterclass. It's a step-by-step video tutorial, shows you how to make your Express Entry profile, gives you the tools that you need to ensure your application gets approved. The Express Entry is a permanent residence route to Canada for skilled workers and business owners. The value is $500. And then importantly, you get the ABC of the Provincial Nominee Program. Now, even if you're thinking, Express Entry is not for me, what about the Provincial Nominee Programs? The provinces in Canada are desperate for people to move to their provinces, yeah? People love to come to Calgary. People love to go to Ontario. People love to go to what's the other place? BC. And the three places people like, they don't like to go to Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Yukon, the Northern Islands. They don't like to go to the small towns in Ontario or BC. And those places, those cities, those communities want people to come there so that they can develop their community as well. So that is what the Provincial Nominee Program does, yeah? And this bonus actually gives you the details of the provinces in Canada where you can actually apply. You don't need to have a connection to those provinces. We show you the easiest provinces to get a provincial nomination. A lot of people are coming into Canada recently on this provincial nominee. I met a lady during a party I went for recently. The way she was sitting, I knew she was new because she wasn't talking to anybody. I went to talk to her. She came in with a provincial nominee program in Ontario, and she told me about it. I didn't even know that there was such a program. So there are so many programs. That's what you'll be getting from this. So everything you're getting the temporary foreign worker program, how to find a job in Canada, the list of the top recruitment agencies in Canada, list of jobs being available, search tools, and also the Canada Express Entry, the resume building template, and the ABCs of the provincial nominee programs. That's a whole bunch that you're getting for just 60,000. So the value you're getting is $800 for the PNP and the Express Entry, 140,000 naira for the temporary foreign worker program and all the things that are in it. But the value you're paying today is only 60,000. 60,000 is, well, can be big for some people, but trust me, the value that you're getting, and it's saving you from being scammed from all these people who will be asking you for 350,000 and give you nothing, is something that you shouldn't walk away from. So don't forget that this is an opportunity for you and your entire family to come to Canada. You get great knowledge of the temporary foreign worker program, Express Entry, PMP. All of these work for foreigners. All of these are routes that as a foreigner, apart from the study routes, you can use to come to Canada. You can avoid mistakes and you can avoid being scammed. It's not even the mistake, it's this scam that is even annoying me. This scam, you can avoid it and do it in a legal and genuine way. And it's a step-by-step guide that you can follow. All my programs are simple. They are straightforward. They are clear. You can easily follow them. So I'm going to answer some questions that I get. I know that I'll be asked these questions. And these are questions that I get when I talk about the temporary foreign worker program. How long is the temporary foreign worker program valid for? So like I said before, when I was explaining, I was very, very clear in saying it is a temporary job. So you're going to get a temporary work permit that is valid for 6 months or less, okay? Usually the job might be 6 months, the job might be 2 years. It depends on how long the job is, but you can file for extensions from inside of Canada. It doesn't mean that after that 6 months, you must go back. No, you can file for an extension, but the maximum time that you'll be allowed to stay in Canada through the temporary foreign work program is 4 years. I don't see how you will stay in Canada for 4 years and you haven't sorted yourself out. There's a problem. So you can qualify for any of the permanent residence routes while you're in Canada. There's what they call the arranged employment, which is something that you can do with an employer. A lot of people do arranged employment here, yeah? a lot of people, it's like a racket here. So you can qualify for the permanent resident route, so you can do an arranged employment to make your temporary stay a permanent one. Can you apply with your family? Yes, you are allowed to apply with your spouse and your minor children. Your minor children will go to school for free until they are 18 years in high school. Your spouse may or may not be allowed to work. So the work permit is actually for you. A lot of times, whether your spouse can work or not is dependent on the visa officer that is processing your application. So, but you can actually apply with them. Oh, so what are the benefits of the temporary foreign worker program? There's an opportunity to work and earn money in Canada. Yeah. And then there's the opportunity to gain valuable work experience and skills that can be transferable to other jobs. So you can use whatever skills and experience you gain in your temporary job to look for other jobs in the future, more permanent roles or roles that pay better. And you can use it to apply for a more permanent stay in Canada. So what do you need to know before starting? You need to know that this is a job. Yeah, the temporary foreign worker program, it's a job. So it's not a permanent residence route. If you get a work permit, it's not a permanent residence route. So stay, it's a work permit, but it has the potential to be utilized for permanent residence. There are people from certain countries, I'm not going to call the names, they are great with this work permit thing. From work permit to permanent residence, they do it a lot. And that's because they get a lot of help from their people here in Canada. Yeah, so it's something that you can use to become a permanent resident. You don't need to meet any immigration requirements. You don't need to do a language test. You don't need to do WES. You don't need to do all that. It's a job. That's why I was saying it's not a permanent residence route. It's a job. So they're not going to ask you for IELTS or WES and all that. You just need to meet the particular job requirements, okay? You just need to show that you can do the job. I have the experience. I meet the requirements. And most times, those are requirements that you can meet, except they're high-skilled jobs. Then if you don't have those skills, then, nobody will be employing you, yeah? So there are certain challenges to the temporary foreign worker program. I don't want to sugarcoat it and make it sound like it's without its challenges. It has its challenges, and I'm going to tell you a few of them. The jobs are primarily temporary, like I've explained before, but of course, when you're in Canada, you start asking questions, you start networking, you will know how people here are doing it, okay? And then the work permit process could take time, yeah? Like I said before, it could take 27 weeks or even more, depending on how much of the work they have. A lot of things in Canada now are taking time. I don't know why. So some employers might not be able to wait for you. If you're from a country where it's taking so long, the employer might say, you know what, I can't wait, yeah? And then some people have difficulties in transitioning from their permanent residence, from their temporary stay to a permanent stay, because they don't know what to do or they are not doing what they're supposed to do. They now have this issue of transiting. So now, one thing I must say too is that jobs are not always available. So we all know that jobs are not always available. Even in your country, there's no company that has jobs all the time. Yeah, so some recruiters might not have jobs at certain times. Some employers might not have jobs at certain times. It doesn't mean that the TFWP is not working. It doesn't mean that you're in a scam. It just means that there are no jobs at that time. Don't forget, the jobs are seasonal. Sometimes they are temporary. And I would say it again, like I've said before, the level of scam with the temporary foreign worker program is massive. There are companies, there are recruitment agencies that have set themselves up. They are doing this. I have a lot of them. I've reached out to some. I just want to talk to them. I reach out to them when I see their ads just to see how their modus operandi is. I tell them I'm looking for a job. They tell me what to do. They'll go back and forth with them just to see what they are saying to people. I'm telling you, they are organized. Yeah. So you need to be very careful. Don't have headache like Musa or Bukola, all these other people who have had headache in trying to get a job in Canada. They make fake promises. They tell you to pay for jobs. They tell you to pay for work permit. They tell you to pay for LMI, all these other things, these so-called sponsored jobs. You need to be very careful. Yeah. Now, but you're very lucky. Many employers are actually getting their positive LMI for 2023. So you can actually jump in now. This is the time for you to actually jump in the boat. So they get this LMI sometimes on a quarterly basis. And then if you are in on time, you can get, be at the forefront of those who are getting the job. Now, because you stayed till now, I know I've been talking for like God knows what, who knows, 30, 40 minutes. I have good news for you. Now, we had a Black Friday sale for the Extra Century Masterclass and the Temporary Foreign Worker Program, but you probably didn't know much. You probably didn't join a webinar like this. I didn't have a webinar. So we had that 15% Black Friday sale. It was supposed to be our last sale for the year. But because you missed it, I'm going to offer another sale, a special one-time offer. But I'm going to do this for only 20%. I really didn't want to do it because I've already done the Black Friday sales. But we're going to be offering that for 20% only. You can get the temporary foreign worker package plus all the bonuses as a Christmas present for 5,000 naira off. Yeah. So I'm giving you 5,000 naira off, and it's only for 48 hours till midnight on Monday, 19th December. I mean, I don't know why you didn't take advantage of the 15% discount. Maybe you didn't hear about it. That's fine. But you can actually get all of this, the special one-time offer, temporary foreign worker program, PMP. You don't know when you're going to need it. You don't know. Even if you come to Canada as a student, you're going to need to apply for permanent residence, and this is the same things that you're going to need, okay? So I don't see any reason why you wouldn't want to get it. You're getting lifetime access. So if you don't need it today, I mean, you get 5,000 off and you still have access to it whenever you need it. But it's not for everybody. This incredible special one-time offer is not for everyone. There are people who still say, I want someone to do it for me. I want someone to give me the job. I want this. Well, this might not be for you. Or if you're like penny picking and thinking, why should I spend all that money? It's an investment. It's an investment against being scammed. It's an investment into your future and your children's future. For a lot of us, this is not about us. This is about our children. This is about generation after generation, them to live in a country that actually cares about them, where they will have a say, where they have a good background, good education, good health, and all that. That's why we're doing this, not doing it for ourselves, okay? So what do you say? What do you say? What could possibly be holding you back at this moment? I said that we're having that offer for 2 days, and the time is already counting. Like there's already a countdown. It ends on Monday, December 19th by midnight. And how you can get the 5,000 naira bonus is that you have to go ahead and make the normal purchase of 60,000 naira on Seller or on Expatnair. You need to send an email to expressentry@relocatecanada.biz. The subject is the temporary foreign worker bonus. Send your name, your purchase number. Purchase number is usually on your receipts, your email address, your bank account, Nigerian bank accounts. The account name must be the same as the person who made the purchase. And we will do the refunds by 23rd of December. And we'll stop refunds. So if you haven't sent us the details by 23rd of December, you're going to have to forget it. So that's a lot of time for you to actually send us the details by email. So do you want to take that leap to achieve your Canada dream? I know that I've been talking a lot, and I hope that, you know, from my own experience, the experience of other people, I'm telling you, I have met people on the phone. Some of them, I cry with them, we cry together. I don't even know them. Some people haven't told their husbands, some people sold their car, some people sold their land to get this job in Canada. And, you know, you don't want to scold them that much because you can see that they had a genuine heart for what they did. So contact whoever invited you to the webinar, ask them for the link to purchase. Don't forget you get lifetime access. You're not losing access because you got it today, but we have only 20 spaces. There are lots of people on this webinar. Once we get to 20, we're going to stop. So thank you for listening, and I trust that you got value, and I will take some questions now. So I'm going to open the chat on Zoom, and I'm going to be looking at the questions. So you can actually ask your questions on Zoom or if you're on Facebook. Just give me 1 second. Yes, very. Okay, so the way I'm going to do it, I'm going to just be looking at the questions. Make sure your questions about the temporary foreign worker program. Don't ask me questions about study or something that's not related to what we just talked about, please, because you'll be derailing us. Okay, I'm not going to answer questions about admission. So I'm going to answer only questions about the temporary foreign worker program. So yes, we are recording this, so you can get a recording. You can also watch the recorded version on YouTube as well. Are there specific requirements for medical related jobs? I really don't understand that question. We're talking about temporary foreign worker program. There are no, the requirements are the requirements of the job, okay? And then if you wanted to know how to get the link, reach out to the person that invited you. I'm surprised nobody invited you, but where did you see, if you say nobody invited you, where did you see the information about the temporary foreign worker, about this webinar? Wherever you saw that information is where you go to ask for the link, okay? Someone says, can I apply for both temporary work and study visa together? Yes, you can. You can. Can I get a job when I purchase the blueprint? Now, if you listened while I was making the presentation, I don't know if you can get a job. Can you get a job when you submit your CV to a company? You don't know, but you have a chance, yeah? So you're submitting your CV because you are competing with other people. So you have a chance of getting, but I don't have like a crystal ball to know if you will get a job. So I'm sorry, I don't know. How did you make your way into Canada eventually? So eventually I came to Canada as a student. I came as a graduate student to Canada. Of course, I couldn't get that job. I came as a graduate student to Canada. That's how I came to Canada. We're not paying into any account. Somebody's asking what account are we paying to? There's a link. If somebody sent you to the webinar, ask them for a link. So there's a link where you make payments. And I'm surprised that nobody invited you to. Where did you hear about the webinar? So those saying nobody invited them, please just tell us where you heard about it so we'll know. You stumbled on it on my YouTube. So if you stumbled on it on my YouTube, then leave a comment there. Leave a comment there on how to get the link and we'll get back to you. Yeah. How do I get the offer after making payments as soon as possible? I don't know what you mean by the offer. What offer? IELTS is not compulsory. If you listened to when I was talking, IELTS is not needed. It's a job. Okay, so they don't need your IELTS. For this, I'm so sorry. And I'm going to have to take that person, report that person. Okay, so let's get back to it. I'm so sorry about that. So someone says, can I apply for temporary foreign worker program and study and provincial nominee? You can apply for as many things as you want to. You can apply for the temporary foreign worker program while you're also applying for study, and that's fine. Someone sent me the post to attend. So go and tell the person who sent you the post. The person is probably an affiliate. So this program is an affiliate program, which means that affiliates are our partners and they are also marketing it. So just ask them and they are going to send it to you. Someone says, I have a pending tourist visa. Can I apply for temporary? Body can apply for temporary foreign work. When I was going through the presentation, I didn't talk about any particular group of people that can apply. It's a job. It's just like you see a newspaper application. Anybody can apply so long as you can show that you meet the requirements of the job, right? Anybody can actually apply. Apart from the 60K to be paid to you, the 60K to be paid to, how much do I need for my visa and my work permit? I talked about it while I was doing the presentation. So you might need to go and look at it. Somebody's asking, where can we see these jobs? That's why you're getting the master class, so that you can know where to see the job. Okay. So someone says, can I apply? Very good question. Can I apply to admission when I get to Canada using this route? How much is the total cost? So if you come to Canada under the temporary foreign worker program, you cannot go to school. Okay. You cannot come to Canada and go to school under the temporary foreign worker program. Okay, Maggie. Let me look at that person, Maggie. M-A-G-G-I-A. I've seen the person. Please just give me 1 second to get this person off. Oh, 1 second to get this person off. Okay, Maggie has been removed. Fine. So you cannot actually go to school. If you came to Canada with a temporary foreign worker program, you have to actually work. You cannot now convert that into a visa for schooling. What of AIP? What is the question? What about it? You said, what of AIP? How much is it in Ghana cedis? I'm not sure. I have to check. I'm not sure how much it is in Ghana cedis. You have to convert it. So if you go to seller to make the purchase, it converts it for you. I saw it on Instagram, but I've not been able to access the link. So on whose Instagram did you see it? If you saw it on somebody's Instagram, on which person's Instagram, you can just DM the person and ask them for the link, okay? If you saw it on IG, ask the person for the link. The requirements for this program, sorry that people still ask this. You need to go back and watch. I'm not going to talk about something I talked about while I was going through the presentation. Is it possible to get work visa in 2 weeks after biometrics? No, it is not. Oh, it is not. It's not possible to get work visa in 2 weeks. Nothing is possible in 2 weeks for Canada. Yeah, I said 27 weeks. That is the average to get an answer back. Okay, let me look at some of the people who have sent questions on Facebook. Give me a second. How will someone prove his or her status in the present country? So that's a good question. So if you are in Nigeria and you're a Nigerian, how you prove your status is that you are a citizen. You have the Nigerian passport. It's all, you are a citizen. If you're in the UK and you're there on a work permit or you're there on a study permit, your study permit is your immigration status that shows that you are there legally. So if you're outside of your country of citizenship, then you have to show the permit that allows you to stay there. I'm just looking through the questions. I'm not going to answer questions on visit visa. Is it possible for someone that goes to Canada for a visit to get a job? No, the reason why it's called a visit visa is that you're coming to visit. For you to get a job in Canada, you need a SIN. You need a SIN number. No employer is going to employ you without a SIN, except those who want to, I don't know, take advantage of you, pay you cash. There are jobs that will take advantage of you and pay you cash. If you want to do something like that, it's fine. But no SIN employer is going to employ you without a SIN. So you came to Canada to visit. If you're trying to work, you're just trying to mess up with your immigration status, yeah? You're going to like block a lot of things for yourself and for your family in the future. I don't advertise that. Or I don't advise that. Getting jobs from outside Canada is really arduous. Yeah. I'm just going through. It means that if I get through to the temporary, I can find my way to become a permanent resident. Yes, there are a lot of people who come through temporary foreign worker program. The maximum you can stay in Canada under the temporary foreign worker program is 4 years. I don't see how you'll be in Canada for 4 years and you don't know how to get permanent residence. It's not possible. So yes, we can use it. Does your portal provide genuine jobs on applying? So if there are genuine jobs, so it's not as if we're not an advertising portal, but we do, if we see genuine jobs, I do have a lot of places where I can see these genuine jobs. I will post them. Is there a limit of work one can do through time? No, I don't know what you mean by limit of work. You will do the work that you have been employed to do now. That's the work you will do. So temporary foreign worker, if you have a genuine job offer, yeah, you do not need to show proof of funds for yourself. If you're coming with family, you might need to show proof of funds for them, especially if your remuneration and your salary will not cover them. So if you're just going to apply with your work permit, with your job letter, sorry, and your LMIA, you do not need to show proof of funds. Can I apply for temporary job while I'm still in school? So if you're in the university in Canada, your study permit says what your work permit is. Yeah, Martha will do. Your study permit says what your work permit is. So your study permit gives you the right to work and it tells you the employers that you can work with. What are you looking for temporary job when your study permit gives you the right to work in Canada and now you can even work full time? What kind of jobs can I get with a BSc in mathematics? I don't know. What kind of jobs? Any job that you qualify for now, Do you understand? Any job you qualify for. Sometimes if you want to do an administrative job, you don't need a BS in mathematics. Anybody can do an administrative job. Anybody can be an administrative assistant, right? So, I mean, you just need to have the education and the skills to be able to do the job. What chances do people with terminal illnesses, what chances do people with terminal illnesses? I'm just trying to read that question. 1 second. So somebody's asking about, I guess you're asking if you have a terminal illness, you have HIV, to get entry. So it's not about my program. If you have a terminal illness and it's actually terminal, or you have HIV, you have to actually go and do a medical. It's a medical doctor or the medical examination that will look at the severity of your case and make a decision and tell IRCC, I don't know, either if you have cancer or HIV. Medical is one of the things that they look at to give you a visa to Canada if you're coming to stay longer than 6 months. Medical is very important. But what they will actually decide to do depends on the hospital and the visa officer, so I can't say. I joined late. Where can I listen to this webinar? So the webinar, you can still get it on the link that you used to get here. The webinar is being recorded on that same link. So even if we close, you can use it to watch it. You do not have to write the IELTS before applying, rather. But if you apply for Canada Birth Stories with no response after a year now, can I apply for a temporary work permit? I don't know. Yeah, you've not gotten a response. You should be asking them, disturbing them with your web form every day, asking them why you haven't gotten a response. And yes, you can apply for temporary work permits, even though you have a visa, a visit visa or a birth visa already ongoing. Let me just look here. I heard someone say it's for 18 to 35-year-old. What is for 18 to 35-year-olds? Did you see me talk about age? Nobody's looking at age when it comes to work. So no, that's not true. You skipped some of my questions. I explained the global talent stream. So I didn't talk about the global talent stream, so I'm not going to explain it. The global talent stream is not among what I talked about today. If you want to know about the global talent stream, just go to IRCC website and type global talent stream. It will tell you about it, okay? How many months work experience to apply permanent residence under the Canadian experience class? So, I mean, that is a different thing. Canadian experience class is not under the TFWP. Canadian experience class is to have permanent experience in Canada, and that's 1 year. You just need to have 1 year of full-time permanent work experience, not temporary, permanent. Waiting. How can me and my family magician card? What was magician? I joined late. Okay, so if you joined late and you don't understand what I mean by 140,000, that is why the recording is available. Please go and watch it so that you don't drag us back, okay? You cannot be asking me what next. I don't know. You said I have bought the extra entry before, but because of the where's that question now? Because of the IELTS, I stopped the process. What next? So what next is that go and do the IELTS. If you want to become a Canada permanent resident, you cannot run away from IELTS. You must do it. So go and do it. Get prepared, get materials that can help you and do it. Someone asking me median wages to get LMI. I don't know. I didn't get the wages for this presentation because the wages changes all the time. I don't know why you need that information, but if you want to know the wages, you can always get it on the IRCC website. Can't get that picture out of my mind. Person is mad. Can I apply for the temporary foreign worker study route provincial nominee at the same time? Yes, you can. All those things are mutually exclusive. So you can apply for provincial nominee, temporary foreign worker program, which means that for you to be able to do that, you have a valid job, you have a positive LMIA. Yeah, so you can apply for all of them. I mean, if you have all these chances, why would you not want to take all of them? Hope Japa students can also purchase express entry. Of course, now Japa students can. No, Japa students, I have given Japa students discount from the moment that I got the express entry masterclass out, but a lot of them didn't hear. There was 25% discount, then there was 15%, then there was Black Friday, and then now there's 5,000. Yes, if you're a Japa student, you can also get that. Somebody's asking for the requirements. Go and watch the recording. I'm not going to talk about something already talked about when we were talking about, when we're going through the presentation. So go watch the presentation. Do you need to get police character certificate? In most cases, yes. Before the temporary foreign worker program, you need a police character certificate. They need to be sure you're not a criminal. I'm sorry, but that's the reason why they do it. Do you also help with resume for applicants? What do you mean help? I can help to review your resume. And if you want me to write it, if you pay me small money, I can write it for you. Yes. Education transcript. What is the question? You just said, what of education transcript? What happened to it? Can you get discount? There's a discount today now, 5,000 naira for the next 2 days. So yes, you can get a discount. So I knew that question would come. Somebody's asking about professional help after the purchase. Professional help for what exactly? So I mean, the way it's structured, you don't really need a professional help until you're applying for work permits. You don't need, everything is there. So if you tell me the kind of professional help that you're referring to, I may be able to answer. How do you get help with what? Education transcript. What do you need education transcript for? Education transcript you get from your school now. You get from your university or your college. How am I going to help with education transcripts? You get your transcript from your own school. Yes, you can apply a loan and your family can join you later, which is great because then you're able to settle down, you're able to get an apartment, you're able to start your job before they come. How much to help with Canadian CV template? You have to get the masterclass to find that out. So we don't offer jobs. I'm not a recruitment agency. Someone's asking if I offer jobs. No, I'm not a recruitment agency, but I know the recruitment agencies that can help you, and they are all in the masterclass. Okay, so a reliable agent, I don't know how she's reliable. Say she'll give us a job, but we'll pay 7,000 Canadian dollars because that is her business. So I can't comment on that. I don't know who this agent is. I don't know if you are saying she's reliable. So if you're saying she's reliable and you can lose $7,000 if everything doesn't go well, then please go ahead. Sometimes things are risky, right? Everything is a risk. The reason why I paid that guy money was because I took a risk. I was ready to lose that money if it didn't work out, but I was hoping that I would not. So I cannot really talk about other people's business. If you feel that that is something you want to take a risk on, then go ahead. Yeah. Someone's asking if you have to do the NTA. You're asking for a nurse. So for you to come to Canada to become a nurse and work as a nurse, yes, you need to pass the exam. Okay, so the recording will be on the same link. The recording will be on YouTube, yeah, on the same link that we are live streaming on. The recording will be there. The recording will be posted on social media. It will be posted on my YouTube channel. You can always go there to watch it. The affiliate who also invited you can send you a link to the recording. Someone is asking where I live in Ontario. You want to come and visit me? You have not answered my question. What question? After putting together my transcript, what next? Okay, this is a consultation now. You cannot be asking me what next here. You have to ask me after here, after you've gotten the masterclass, then you can ask me what next. We can't be doing that here, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Why are you still taking me back? Take me down there. Any help for students from Ghana? I don't know what that means. Like if you want to ask a question, ask a full sentence so that I can understand what you're asking. Jem Debbie, what is your question now? You say, please answer my question. There's no question there. Is your question? You don't say, please answer my question. I didn't see your question. What is the minimum academic requirements to apply for temporary work in Canada. The minimum requirement is whatever the job says. Okay, it's probably secondary school, SSC, but it's whatever the job says. There is no age limit for temporary work. The UK has skilled worker visa. Does Canada have? I don't know what is skilled worker visa. I'm so sorry. I have European work application form, that's work permits, waiting for visa to UK, applying for this job. Will it affect my European papers? I don't know. Like, I don't know anything about European papers or what, but I don't see how it will affect your papers. And then if you're not sure, why don't you just wait and get your European papers before applying? Somebody's asking, can I apply with my family? I'm not going to answer. You're going to have to watch the recording. It's already there. But you can apply with your family. It's a short answer. So let me give it. Yes, you can apply with your family. What is the duration for the process of the programs? I don't know what you mean by the duration. Duration is duration of what? Duration of the processing of I don't know. Someone invited me. I know Dotun. So go back and ask Dotun for the link. Dotun has the link. Congrats, I got a valid job offer with LMIA and I'm done with biometric screening. Congratulations. Somebody said they got, wow. Oh God. I'm just trying to look if there's any question I haven't answered. Like people are asking the same question. Do you help in processing? Processing what? Processing what? If you were here and you know the process of the temporary foreign worker program, then I mean you won't be asking. I'm not in partnership with any of these agencies. I say the temporary foreign worker program is a dicey program. Yeah, you need to be careful. I need to be careful before I start partnering with anyone to be sure that they're actually not people that are going to get me into trouble. I'm still talking to a couple of agencies. Immediately I am able to establish a partnership with any one of them, of course, I'm going to let you know. But for now, no. What is your question? Tunde Amao, what is the question? You say you're not taking my question. What is the question now? How do I get you to help with resume? Buy the masterclass. That is how you get me to help you. Somebody says, would like to be able to use my graduation certificate to do my PR. I really don't understand what you mean. If I get a job as a temporary, if I get a temporary job with secondary school, yes, if you're applying for whatever, you can use your degree. Is it faster to get the work permit through UK? I don't know now. What I do is Canada. I don't know about UK. I get jobs for foreign medical doctors on a temporary foreign worker program. So when it comes to medical doctors, you know that in Canada, you cannot practice if you don't have the Canada certification. So as a medical doctor, you have to do certain exams to be certified to work in Canada. It's like that. For anything medical, nursing, medical, you have to do that exam. Pharmacist, for you to be able to work in Canada, okay? So, I mean, it's a sore spot for medical doctors, but that's the truth. How can I change from study routes to express entry? How much? So if you have the study route, what do you mean by how much? As in you have to finish studying now, then apply for permanent residence. Except I don't understand. Do I have any links? How much is the masterclass? Masterclass is 60,000, but there's a 5,000 naira discount up until December 19th. December 19th, so you can get it for 55,000 until December 19th. Excuse me, first. Just wait to check. Okay. If you want to know the process, you keep asking Clara the professional fee for this package. You need to get the package first. Yeah. If you want to know professional fees, you need to get it. The professional fees are inside. Okay, someone is saying, can someone get a reliable sponsorship visa? We've come with that word again, sponsorship visa to Canada based on caregiver stuff. Now, for you to get a caregiver job in Canada, you need to have a job, a caregiver visa. You need to have a job. So somebody in Canada has to give you that caregiver job. I don't know what you mean by sponsorship visa. There's nothing like that. How certain are we that we'll be able to migrate successfully? How much does it cost for the route? How certain are you that you will live for the next 10 years? How certain are you that if you step out of your house, something will happen? Nobody can tell you how certain anything is. I don't tell lies when it comes to this. I don't know how certain it is. How certain are you that you will get visa? When I applied for study visa the first time, I was certain I will get it. I didn't. So, I mean, it's by doing what you need to do, putting the rest in God's hands. That is how certain it is. I'm not going to tell you that if you buy the masterclass, you will certainly get a job. No, I'm not going to. But you get a good chance. You know what to look for. It's just like applying to jobs in your country. It's not certain. And I'm not going to talk about professional fees anymore. Please get the masterclass. The professional fees are inside. How long does it take for an employer to get an LMIA? I don't know. So it takes a few weeks. The employer getting LMIA is not your problem. Do you understand? That's not your business. The employer will get the LMIA and they need the LMIA to employ you. So that's not, stop worrying about LMIA. It feels like we're not part of the Zoom. Did you remove me from the chat? Who is this? You remove me from the chat and yet you're able to chat. I mean, come on. I am in the UK. How long will it take for me to get the Canada temporary work permit? I don't know. It depends on how long it happens. Stop asking. You know, sometimes the questions you ask the agents make them to lie. I mean, someone who is not very certain of themselves and who just wants to get you off their back, they will tell you anything. Nobody can tell you how long it's going to take. I've told you that the processing takes about 27 weeks. It could be longer, it could be shorter, but on the average, it takes 27 weeks. But of course, you still need to get that job for you to be able to apply. So stop asking people to tell you specifics. They don't know. Nobody knows. How can you be an employee and also pay for your work permits? I don't understand that question. That shouldn't happen. That shouldn't happen. That's all this sponsored job thing. It doesn't happen. How can I convert temporary work to permanent residence? That possibility is there, yes. You can come to Canada with your family. If you were here or you go back and listen to the recording, you will see where we said that. So I'm going to be here for just the next 10 minutes and then we're going to end it. I think I've told you everything you need to know. If you came late, you can go back and watch the recording. There's a little scene there of about a few seconds that is not very nice. I'm going to see if there's a way to remove it. But if you see it, forgive me. I don't know how that person just crashed in and started showing rubbish. I'm so sorry about that. Well, I mean, if you're looking for assurance, Kristen, you're saying it would be more feasible if you're working in agencies that assure. No, but if you see anybody that is assuring you of a job, then you are onto a scam, okay? Nobody's going, if you see, I mean, that is what you want. That's what I wanted. And that's what a lot of people who get scammed want. So I get the mindset, but if you're looking for assurance, you're looking for a scam, okay? If you're not willing to take the risk, willing to do the work, then you're going to get in trouble. Do you have any association of Nigerians in Ontario? We have many associations of Nigerians in Ontario, but you actually have to live in Ontario for you to be in those associations, okay? So, but we have them. A lot of them post these jobs there. 5 more minutes. Is IELTS necessary for PRO? IELTS is necessary for every single permanent residence route in Canada. You need either the IELTS or the CELPIP. You must do English. You must do a language test for you to be a permanent resident. Can myself and my wife go on a family visa or get employed on different organizations? I don't know what you mean by family visa, but if you have a job and your wife has a job, both of you can apply for a work permit, okay? What do you mean by follow-up class? Kristen, what do you mean by follow-up class? I don't know what you mean. Is the temporary foreign worker a better route to get PR? The temporary foreign worker is it a better route than what? A better route than what? If I get a job, I've seen this one. Why are you not attending to some questions? Which question? Ernest, Oban, Opare. Which question have I not attended to? You know that this is a chat and the questions are being scrolled. Yeah, and that's why you can see me scrolling to get the question. What is your question that I have not attended to? Maybe I didn't see it. Tell me. So if you have 12 months of Canadian experience, you still need CELPIP. If you have 1 million years of Canadian experience, you need CELPIP or IELTS or the TEF, that's the French language. You must do a language test. Yeah, you can't run away from it. If someone invites you to Canada, of how long will it take me to start work there? If someone invites you to Canada to come and do what? If someone invites you to Canada to visit, you can't work. So someone said about funding. We're not doing student here. This is for temporary foreign worker program, not study. I can't see any question here that I haven't answered. So don't forget to go back to the person who invited you if you want to get the masterclass. We will be doing sessions like this on talking about different routes to Canada. I can only do these sessions maybe once or twice a month. I can't do more than that because I have other things I'm doing. But I'll try and come up with topics on questions that people are asking questions on, and then begin to talk about them. If you want an expedited processing, you want to move faster, you want mentorship and guidance, that is when you need the masterclass, okay? That's when you get the masterclass. That's when you get my contact. That's when you're able to get help from our team, okay? Do you have any links to websites to get Canadian jobs? I'm in the medical line. So if you're in the medical line, you're a pharmacist, you cannot work in Canada. You have to actually, you cannot work in Canada as a pharmacist. You can work in Canada, but not as a pharmacist, because you need to take the pharmacist exams for you to practice as a pharmacist in Canada. Sad but true, yeah? It's possible to get work on LinkedIn, of course. That's what LinkedIn is about. You can get jobs on LinkedIn. How many minutes? 3 more minutes. Then we'll have to call it a day. Can I work if I'm in Canada for a seminar? If you're in Canada for any other reason apart from working, you should not work. I don't know an employer that will employ you when you don't have a SIN, okay? Someone's asking, how can I get to Canada and work? You want me to start another webinar? Oh God, how do I get the masterclass? So if you want the masterclass, you either saw this webinar on somebody's advert on Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, wherever, go back and ask them for the link to purchase. They are going to give you the link. It doesn't have to come from me, yeah? I'm not the one selling. It doesn't have to come from me. It's the people who invited you. Ask them for the link. Michael Peterson, you don't have any certificate in Nigeria. It's not only Nigeria that gives certificates. Where do you have a certificate? So now the questions now are all over the place, which means that we have exhausted the questions we have for the temporary foreign worker program, and we are not just throwing questions at me from everywhere. Canada is required for any permanent residence. I've said it like 5 times now. Somebody's still asking, Akinwale Hezekiah, IELTS is required for permanent residence. Whether it's through temporary route or permanent route, you want to be a permanent resident in Canada, you must do English or French exam. You must do a language test, okay? Who is Fortune? And then what is your question? Type your question. Now I'm here and waiting for you. What is your question? Type it. I'm waiting. Fortune. And then you say I'm not answering your question, and this is not the first time. What is the question? I can't hear you. Are you kidding? If you can't hear me, you need to go and work on your microphone because others can hear me. Fortune, you haven't typed your question, no? You're accusing me of not answering your question and you're not typing the question. So we have 2 minutes more. 2 minutes more. I want to thank everybody who joins because I know that it's like 8:30, right? In Nigeria, it's 2:30 in Ontario or 2:28 in Ontario. So it's like 8:38, yeah, in Nigeria, and it's pretty late and you have taken time off. Somebody's calling me Mama Brock. Brock University. Am I? I love Brock. Brock helped me a lot through my supervisor. It's an amazing school. If you can come to Brock, please come. So how do I submit my new LOA? Use a web form. So thank you very much for joining. If you have more questions, we are asking about LOA. That means you have the express, you have the Japa system. Send your questions by email. It's about the IELTS through PR. What is your question, Fortune Ene? Ask your question. The reason why I'm here. So Obina, you're asking if there will be another webinar for study routes. So we've been having webinars for study routes every month. Yeah, and this is Christmas. I want to go and enjoy Christmas with my family. So we can have a webinar in in January, towards the end of January, about study. So yes, there will be a webinar about study. Thank you very much for being with me. I haven't drank water. I'm very thirsty. You can't remember the person you saw this from. Okay, do you know what we're going to do? If you are claiming that you can't remember where you saw the link for this webinar, which is kind of sad, I don't know. Leave a comment on YouTube. And I saw it randomly on Twitter. Do you know that you can't see things randomly on Twitter? Things have to be from somebody's tweet, okay, somebody's account. It can't be random on Twitter. So it's unfair that I saw it on. Well, I mean, I guess maybe you just clicked it and you didn't take notes. But usually those people who have these things on Twitter would have a group. So you can go back to the group, or you can go on YouTube and leave a comment, and we'll get back to you, okay? I'll probably ask you a few questions about where you saw it, and then we can sort that out. Okay, you can leave a comment on YouTube if you have more questions. We will try and answer the questions. Yes. Hearsay, I focus on Canada only. I don't do United States. I live in Canada. This is where I understand all the permanent residence, temporary routes, study routes. I understand Canada very well. I do not understand the US because I did. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I wish I did and could help, but I don't live in the US. I live in Canada. So thank you very much. The session is recorded. It's on YouTube. If you want to get to my YouTube channel, it's Acheyo Abasi Canada. The session is there. If you want to know more, reach out to the person that invited you. Your 20-year-old daughter is no longer a dependent. If you have a 20-year-old daughter, if you want to come to Canada as a permanent resident, she is a dependent. If you want to come to Canada as a temporary resident, she is no longer a dependent, okay? 20-year-old. So I mean, she now has to run her own race to come to Canada. So thank you, everybody. I wish I could stay and talk some more, but I think we've exhausted everything. So if you pay 55,000, what next? If you pay for a program or a masterclass, what happens next? You get access, and then when you now go into the program, you'll be told what next. That's how it works generally. Okay, so I have to go now. I mean, I wish I didn't have to, but I have to. Thank you very much for staying, especially those that stayed from the beginning. Don't forget, you can get that 5,000 naira bonus. Just send us an email after you've made the purchase. Send the details of your purchase number, as well as what now? Your bank account number, which should be the same as the account or the name that made the purchase. Thank you very much. I don't understand this question they're asking. No, somebody's asking one question. Which bank account? There's no bank account. Oh my God, thank you so much. So I'm going to, you might want to say bye. So I know that I've muted you guys since I can unmute you. We'll say our goodbyes and then we'll talk at the next webinar, okay? How do I do that now? Oh my goodness. I keep forgetting how to do these things. Okay, if you're on Zoom, you can actually say goodbye. If you're on YouTube, you can't talk because you're on YouTube. You can unmute yourself. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Bye. So we are going to have more webinars. It's Christmas. Have a lovely Christmas. Next week, Christmas, Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year in advance. Thank you very much.
I wish you happy. And Merry Christmas
Same
too.
to you. Same to you. I wish you Merry Christmas too. Christmas is in the air. Oh my goodness, so excited. Merry Christmas, everybody. And bye. Thank you very much for joining. Appreciate it. You can leave a comment on. There's no Canada visa lottery. I've said it. Someone is saying shed more light. Can you shed light on something that doesn't exist? Hey, yeah, what though? Don't go and be put into all these things that seem too good to be true. There is no Canada lottery visa currently. So don't click any link and pay any money. Okay. Thank you very much for joining. Going to end it now. Have a lovely rest of the week. Bye.